to Fabulosity For You, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you'll be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. And this is not your first time visiting my channel, well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome to the kings out there. Today is Ratchet Wednesday, and I'm going to be doing a review of 90 Day, The Last Resort, Season 1, Episode 4, How Long Do You Last? So we're going to just get right into it. The show opens up with Yara and Jovi. They're just doing yoga and standing on one foot and all of the things and stretching their body and all of the things. And so after they do yoga, they sit down and talk. And Yara said, the reason I decided to have the yoga is because Jovi and I were so upset about what happened that Jovi went drinking with Angela. And so she said, I just wanted to relax us both so we can be in a place where Jovi and I can talk calmly. So Jovi, he was like, I really feel good. I feel relaxed now after doing the yoga. Thank you so much. So she said, Jovi, let's talk. And he said, well, I'm just, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have went out with Angela drinking. But I did. And I'm sorry. He said, but I just had so much on my mind. I just needed to go out and have a drink. I didn't mean for things to get all crazy. He said, but I was hurt. I was hurt that you told me in front of everybody that you did not want to have a child with me right now, and that you were on the birth control. I mean, that just wasn't right. And she said, but Jovi, we're not in a place to have baby. I told you, Jovi, I don't want baby right now. And he said, well, when do you want a baby? When can we have a baby? And she said, Jovi, I don't know, maybe 4 years from now. My body still had not healed, Jovi. She said, Jovi, our relationship is just not where it should be, where we should be having another baby, Jovi. We shouldn't be expanding our family. And so in the confession, he was like, well, I guess I should be glad that she finally confessed that she had told that she was on birth control pills. But he was like, yeah, but I don't want to be 40 years old having a baby. What if in four years you decide you still don't want to have a child? And she said, see, Jovi, this is how you know we have problems, because Jovi, you just keep pushing me and you keep pushing me, Jovi, when I don't want to have a baby. And so it ended on that note. So then all of them, Jovi, Yara, Molly, Kelly, and Ed, Liz, Asuelo, and Kalani, they all met up and they were going to do a group couples therapy. So the group couples therapy was really about sex and intimacy. It was about sex and intimacy and how to please your partner. So when everybody was sitting around and the therapist told them this is the subject, Ed goes, she said, yes, Ed. You know Ed don't have a neck. Can you tell me how babies are born? And everybody was like, oh my God, we're trying to be serious. We're trying to get some help. And you sitting up playing games. And so the therapist ignored Ed. And then she goes, don't worry, this is not a class where you're going to have a fruit or a piece of a cucumber in your mouth. It's not like that. Look at Jovi's mouth. Jovi got such a big old mouth. I bet you he could put a cucumber in there sideways. And his girl, Liz, was like, oh my God, can you be serious? This is serious. We're trying to get our relationship together and you sitting up here playing all these games. So the therapist was like, if you guys have any questions and you're embarrassed to say the question out loud, here is a bucket. You can put your questions here and we can talk about it. So I guess they, somebody did it. Everybody didn't do it. But she pulls it out and it says, I want a big dick and I want to be able to last long. Aswilla had no problem saying, yeah, I said that. I want a big dick and I want it to last long. So she was like, well, first of all, every woman does not want a big penis in their vagina. So for you to say that, you have to ask yourself, why? Why do you want a big penis? And he was like, I want a big penis. I want it to last long because I try to spit on my penis and is that not what I'm supposed to do? And she was like, no, you're not supposed to spit on your penis because when you spit on your penis, and then Molly interjected, then her vagina gonna stink like your breath. So don't do it. I mean, that was talking crazy. And so he was like, well, do I supposed to use her spit? And so the therapist was like, you don't use any spit because that can irritate your wife's vagina. You're supposed to use lubricant. Lubricant? I mean, it was just real crazy how stupid he was acting like he had no knowledge of sex. Now, from what I understood, Kalina was the one that was the virgin. And so Yara was like, this dude is tripped out. He acting like he 18 years old. Do I supposed to put spit on her vagina? Yara just laughed. But he was dead serious. And so she said, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask each and one of you guys a question. I want to know from 1 to 10, rate each other's sex. And so she said, Asuelo, what do you give Kalena? I give her a 10. Okay, that's good. Kalena, what do you give Asuela? She was like, I'm not going to answer that. I am not going to answer that. And so she said, why not? She said, I just don't feel comfortable answering that in front of a room full of people. Now, what tripped me out about it, maybe she's just trying to spare him, because she said in front of a room full of people that her husband gave her a yeast infection. This was episode 1. And she had sex with another man. And so I don't understand what's now so embarrassing, but maybe she's trying to save his face by not answering. So then they go over to Kelly and Molly. And so Kelly was like, well, I have a question. Where is a woman's G-spot? And so Molly was, she was in confessional and she was like this. He ain't found it. He haven't found it. He haven't found my G-spot. And so the therapist explained where a woman's G-spot is. So he said, how do you rate Molly in bed? And he said, I'm not going to answer that because we ain't even had sex. So we ain't been having sex, so I don't want to answer. So she said, Molly, she said, what do you rate Kelly in bed? So she was like, I give him an 8. And so everybody was like, well, that's good. And he even looked like, okay. I thought she was finna front me off like she been doing. So she said, it seems like if you gave him an 8, that you guys were connecting, you guys had an intimacy. And so she said, so even though Kelly, it's been a long time since you and Molly had sex, was it good? And he was like in the confessional, oh yeah, we was banging it out. I was banging it out. It was good. Yeah, I spit all over her. And I licked the spit out. No, he said, I licked her sweat off of her body. Yeah, we was getting it in. And Molly was looking like, honey, we was fat. And we was sweating because we was fat. But at the end of the day, she said the man was an 8, so she was enjoying what they had going on. So that's what the therapist said. Well, it sounded like you guys had an intimacy. The sex was good, but then somewhere along the lines, the intimacy faded away. And so we got to work on getting it back. So she said, I'm going to give you guys. So she goes on to Ed and Liz. And so Ed was like, well, I gave Liz an 8, an 11. I gave her an 11 in bed. But things have changed, though. But I will give her 11. And she said, okay, that's good. So she said, Liz, what you give him? She said, well, I'm going to give him a 5 because he has to stop and go and stop because he had a breath and go and stop. And I'm not really into that. So I just rather please myself. And that's what I've been doing. And then in confessional, she was like, something got to change. Because if Ed keep doing this, I'm not going to be around. He going to have to get it together. So the sex therapist was like, well, why don't you, since you know your body so well, you've been pleasing yourself, let him please you. Let him do to you what you do when you please yourself. And she was like, absolutely not. No, I don't want him to do it. No, I don't. And so Ed was like, well, I just had surgery. And so a couple weeks ago, I just got out of shape. And she said, no, it's been months that you had your surgery. And so, excuse me, I have allergies. And so she was like, really embarrassed when she said that. And so then they went to Yara and Jovi. And Jovi was, while they was out talking, Jovi was like, we ain't got no problems like that. Me and you got it going on in the bedroom. So that's one thing we know we beat everybody out in. So they said, Jovi, what do you rate Yari? And Yari was like, Jovi was like, I give her a 6. And she said, I give him a 5. I give him an 8. And so he said, the reason why I'm giving her a 6 is because we used to have sex all the time. Now we don't have sex as much. We got a little one. And she said, well, I gave him an 8 because he don't like no foreplay. All he want to do this, hump me real fast. And then she said, I just don't like it. It don't feel good. Jovi just do me like this. He do me like this. And so I had to have foreplay. And Jovi don't want to do it. So Jovi was like, I just feel like, and so the therapist was like, well, when you have a baby and you have a young child, you can't have spontaneous sex. You got to give her, you have to understand that. And so he said, but what I don't like is I got to do something special for her. I got to do something very romantic just to have sex with my wife. It shouldn't be like that all the time. She said, but Jovi, you do me like this That's no good. You have to romance me, Jovi. And so the therapist was like, well, yeah, you got to rub her back, get her in the mood. There's nothing wrong with that. So she said, I'm going to give all of you guys some homework assignment. She said, Kalani and Asuelo, I want you guys to please yourself on your own, because I want you to know what pleases you, what pleasures you, and then you can tell each other how to pleasure you. Then she said, for Kelly and Molly, she said, I want you guys to do the same thing. And then she said and with Ed and Liz, I want you guys to explore yourselves and please yourself so that you guys can tell each other what to do. She said, Yarvi and Jovi, I want you guys to cuddle with no sex. And Jovi was like, oh, no. Oh, why I got to do that? I'd rather deal with what Ed and them doing. Why do I have to do that? So she was like, I gave you guys the assignment, and you guys get right to it. So they all of them go and do what they have to do to themselves, so that the homework that they had to do. And then Angela and Michael was not in the group session because Angela man is not there. They have the distance between them. So they had a separate one-on-one session with the therapist about the same topic. They gave Angela and Michael, they gave them a Bluetooth vibrator. And it was like so funny. I mean, it was had me rolling. So Michael had the control, and he could control Angela. And so the therapist is like, Michael, why don't you like pleasuring yourself? And he was looking all tripped out and embarrassed. I don't do that. It's nothing that I want to do. Angela explains that in Nigeria, they feel like a man pleasuring themselves is wasting sperm. But now, if your wife is in another country, you got to do something. So she said, you can send him. They have toys that you can send him so that you can control him having orgasms. So tonight was about Angela. They was laughing. Angela was like, oh my God. Ah, he was doing this, happening. She was like, oh my God. Wait till we go to the bedroom. Hold up. So the therapist liked that they really was into the toy. And she just said, it's so many toys out there that you can do to increase pleasuring your mates, and not just yourself, but each other. And have fun in the bedroom, and that brings intimacy. So Angela ends it when she got in the bed, and he was, zumping her. Oh, that's what she was doing. And Yari and Jovi, Yari came in the bed all sexy, honey. She came on with her little outfit on, and Jovi was like, "Are we supposed to have sex?" No, Jovi, no. I just wanted to look nice, and she was teasing him, basically. And, honey, he jumped all over Yari. I don't know what happened under them covers, but I think they did more than cuddle. And so everybody went in their separate rooms to do what they was going to do. And then Ed came in his room, and he started talking to Liz. And Liz was like, you know what, Ed? It's just, I don't know what's going to happen with us. You're not. And you know what? Ed was like, wait a minute. I just want to say this. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been laughing and joking. I should have taken it serious. And she was like, well, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, Ed, because what if something happened? What if I die and you didn't give me what I needed? How are you going to feel? And what if something happens to you and you died thinking, I didn't have your back? And so they both was tearing up. She said, I love you. He said, I love you too. He said, but not, she said, but the thing is, you joke too much. You don't take it serious. You don't listen. He said, I get it. I get it. I get it. I think counseling is helping me realize some things. And I'm going to do better because we love each other. And they ended up kissing and all of that. Then they went and got into bed and did their homework assignment. So the last person was Molly and Kelly. So the therapist is like, listen, guys, I wanted to do a one-on-one session because you guys just seem like you're not able to resolve some things and just so much anger and all of the things. And I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of what's going on. And so she said, Molly, tell me why you're feeling the way you're feeling about Kelly. And she was like real angry. She was like, I just think that when he was a cop and he had stuff going on, it turned me on. And then he came down to Atlanta and he was supposed to be by my side and help me, and he didn't. How would you feel if you getting up every day? And I think he was every day. And I'm asking him, what you gonna do today? And he say, absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. And he was like, that's a lie. She's lying. She's a liar. And he was like, calm down, Kelly. Tell me how you feeling, Kelly. I left everything for her. And so it's just not what she's saying. She's a liar. And so he said, let Molly speak. Molly, what do you think about what he's saying? She said, all I know is he don't respect me as a mother. He don't respect me as a business owner. I can't rely on him. He can't help me financially. She was going on and on. And so Kelly was like, she did me wrong. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to stand for this. Now, what I did notice when he said to Kelly, is she telling the truth? He said she was lying, but he didn't explain his part about, is he trying to get a job? Did he not want to help her with her business? He's not explaining that part. So there's something there. Like I said, what woman wants a man that lay up every day while she go to work? Now, granted, if he was older and retired and he did his job and did his part, then he don't have to work, but he could help her out. He could do something. She said he don't have no money if he can't help her financially. And as I said again, I don't think at 43 years old, you actually retiring and getting retirement money. So I don't know whether he taking her kindness for weakness and was trying to lay up and not do nothing. I don't know. They really haven't went into depth about really why she said why she's so mad, but he's not explaining his part. He's not answering her back. So I don't know. But what I will say is this. I think that Jovi is really wants to control Yarvi. And I'm so happy that Yarvi is standing up. She got her power, baby. And she's standing up to him. Because you can't tell nobody if one person is not ready in a relationship to have a baby and the other one isn't, then you have to compromise. You don't just keep saying, when we going to have a baby? When we going to have a baby? And then your marriage is not right. So I'm happy for her. Some of the people like Ed and Liz, they feel like it's working for them. Ed is saying he starting to really see that he needs to change his ways, which is good. I'm happy that Angela and Michael are able to, please each other long distance with toys and stuff like that, because it's hard having a long distance relationship, especially a marriage. I say that, and these are just my personal opinions, I say that Asuelo and Kalani, I don't think Kalani gonna stay with Asuelo. I think she just feels tired. She's met somebody, and he's a lot to work with. He is a lot to work with, but I wish all the couples the best. I hope things work out. And so that ends the review, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next week. So if you just now tuning in, I have reviewed and recapped episode 1. I reviewed 2, 3, and I just reviewed 4. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch my other videos. And it comes on, if you're new to this channel and new to this program, it comes on The Last Resort, 90 Day, The Last Resort, comes on Mondays, every Monday on TLC. Thank you for watching my channel.
1, 2.